morning to all of you. It was a long day, but I think it was a very good day today. I want to thank the people who made it happen. First, I want to thank the National Guard, who did an extraordinary job getting ready for this mission on very short notice. We were the first plane down this morning to bring assistance, and it wouldn't have happened without the National Guard. I want to thank JetBlue that made this aircraft and others available to bring much needed supplies, and they did it very, very quickly. I want to thank my colleagues who you'll hear from in a moment, Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez and Assemblymember Marcos Crespo. We dropped off the goods this morning that the governor of Puerto Rico had requested: generators, cots, food, etc. We also did an aerial tour, a helicopter tour of the island with the governor to do an assessment. We were in Humvees to do an assessment of part of the island that was still inaccessible. I can tell you this: I saw all the TV coverage on the storm. My opinion is, in person, it is much worse than appears on the TV reports. We have taken footage that we're going to post later this evening at ny.gov website. I encourage everyone to look at it. The devastation of the island is really breathtaking. There are parts of the island that had as much as 7 to 8 feet of water in homes. There are still parts of the island where we went through with Humvees that are maybe 3-4 feet deep, and that water goes right into the homes. And again, this is no longer just rainwater or seawater. This is water that has collected chemicals and debris and is unhealthy, to say the least. The entire power system on the island is down. The only systems that are operating by generator. It's remarkable that the current estimate of fatalities is about 7 or 8. They don't have a hard count yet. But when you see the destruction, it's remarkable that the number of fatalities is that low. Hundreds of homes with significant structural damage, even newer buildings, high-rise buildings, concrete buildings that really sustained much damage. I again encourage everyone to look at the footage, look at the photos. You'll get a sense of the desperate need of Puerto Rico. We also visited the Virgin Islands earlier, and that footage is also on the website. And the one thing that's clear is these people need a lot of help. And we have to remember that they're American citizens. It's Puerto Rico, they're American citizens. U.S. Virgin Islands, they're American citizens. And I think when you see the pictures and the destruction, anybody who sees it will be moved. And we really need to mobilize, and we need to get our federal representatives to focus on getting the help they need to Puerto Rico and the other islands that sustained serious damage. They're not going to be able to repair it on their own. They're going to need help, and they deserve help, and they deserve it quickly. We left an assessment team on the island who's going to be working on getting the power up and running. That is probably the most significant infrastructure system that has been damaged. And until the power grid is up, it's very hard to do anything else. It's going to take hundreds of personnel, a significant amount of time to get that power grid back up and running. Again, everything now is just operating on generators. Puerto Rico is going to see a long road ahead. It's not going to be weeks. I don't even know that it's going to be months. I think it depends on how much assistance they get, and everyone should do their part. I want to thank the team that we brought down with us. Again, the National Guard was magnificent, the State Police, Homeland Security, NYPA, the Power Authority people. whose expertise was extraordinary. And I can tell you this, for all they've gone through, the resilience of the people of Puerto Rico is astonishing. And the smiles and the spirit was strong. They truly appreciated our being there. And I think sometimes they say it's as simple as showing up. These are people who have been battered for days. They went through Storm Irma and then the past couple of days with Storm Maria. So they've had a long few days. But I think today said to them, you're not alone. You have friends. The connection with New York is very, very strong. A lot of family connection, a lot of cultural connections. And when they saw us show up as quickly as we did, with the help that they needed, they couldn't be any more appreciative or any more gracious. There was no resentment, no bitterness, no why us. It was just, how do we get back up? How do we rebuild Puerto Rico? And how do we rebuild Puerto Rico so it's better than ever before? And we are committed to working long time, for the long time, the long road with Puerto Rico. And I believe with their spirit, and if they get the help they need from this country, I know they'll get the help they need from this state, they will bounce back. And they will have a Puerto Rico that's better than ever before. With that, let me turn it over to my colleague, Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez, who's going to be key to this effort, because it's going to take Washington to stop playing politics, stop trying to figure out how to end health care for people in this nation, and start to focus on how to help people, like the people in Puerto Rico. Congresswoman.
Thank you, Governor, and good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to thank all the men and women that are standing behind us, all the state federal agencies, the National Guard, the private sector, JetBlue. It's going to take a collective effort of the public and private sector, because this is going to be a long way to recovery. And it's going to be a very painful chapter in the island of Puerto Rico. As a Puerto Rican, I just want to say that going there today gave me the strength to go back to Washington and make the case on behalf of 3.5 million American citizens. And it gave me the strength because I could not believe the type of devastation that we witnessed, and then at the same time to see the resiliency and the spirit of the people of Puerto Rico, young and old. They didn't complain, as the governor said. They were very appreciative that we were there. And I believe that today they feel more hopeful because we saw us. They see us there. I want to say to the governor, thank you. In a way, we are putting a human face, a human suffering in displays for the American people to see, to watch, and to help us make the case that this cannot be a Democratic or Republican issue. This is our people suffering, and we gotta do everything within our power to make the people of Puerto Rico whole again. It's gonna take a lot of resolve, it's gonna take a lot of effort, but it's going to take a lot of resources. And we, the federal government, must play the kind of role that is required from us. And I will be in Washington every single day reminding the federal government that we must show up, that we must provide the resources, and that we cannot fail them. We just can't. And it's going to cost money, but we have to do it. And we have to do it the sooner, the better. So thank you, Governor. We are so indebted to you. You did the impossible in putting this thing together, and your staff. The smiles that we saw today don't have a price. The happiness that we saw today, despite the destruction. So, time again, you have been there, and this is what public servants do, and this is what you've done. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know how grateful the people of Puerto Rico are to the state of New York and to you personally. Gracias. A todo el mundo le quiero decir que le agradezco al gobernador haber hecho esto de una manera tan eficiente y de decirle al pueblo de Puerto Rico que ellos no están solos, que nosotros estaremos aquí, que el gobernador del estado de Nueva York hizo acto de presencia y que nosotros en el Congreso vamos a hacer lo que tenemos que hacer para lograr que se asignen los fondos que el pueblo de Puerto Rico necesita en este momento de dolor. Muchas gracias.
First, I want to thank Governor Cuomo, the Power Authority, the National Guard, the State Police, JetBlue, everybody who made this trip possible. What we did, when we hit the ground, we did see infrastructure devastation. Infrastructure devastation, flooding, rooftops gone, knowing that there's no energy or communication system. It really is, as the governor said, worse on the ground than what we've seen on television. But I can't emphasize enough just how empowering it was to see smiles and thumbs up as we traveled through those communities, and to know that the people of Puerto Rico are demonstrating once again their character, their tenacity, their resiliency. And I have to tell you that while I didn't get to see Mommy or find out specifics about my town, I know that I come back strengthened and full of hope at seeing the amazing job that Governor Rosselló and his team are doing on the ground, at seeing the operations that they have and the system that they put in place, to know that while communications are not working, they have troops on the ground in all those communities. To everybody who was trying to message us to say, find out about my town, I can tell you, I don't know much more about Arroyo when I left and when I come back, but I know and I feel better knowing the work that is being done, and knowing that the donations that were brought today are gonna help the governor achieve that goal, and are gonna help people who are in need, and are gonna help deliver those resources where they're needed most. And more importantly, Governor, thank you for demonstrating the kind of leadership that we want other governors and our president to do. You led the way. You showed how it could be done. Now more people need to arrive, because every bit of these resources and every bit of those donation drives that are happening in our communities, and every dollar collected will be needed, not just now, but in the long-term future for Puerto Rico. Yo le doy las gracias al gobernador, a JetBlue, a la Guardia Nacional, a la Policía Estatal y a todos los que organizaron este esfuerzo. No sabemos quizá los detalles que quisiera de Mami en mi pueblo. Sé que muchas familias quieren saber de diferentes áreas, pero me siento mejor sabiendo el trabajo que el gobernador Rosselló y el liderato en Puerto Rico, las agencias están haciendo para llegar a todas las comunidades. Y yo sé que con el liderato del gobernador Cuomo, estas donaciones van a ayudar ese esfuerzo y van a ayudar a nuestras familias. Me siento mejor sabiendo que eso está sucediendo, y le exhorto al presidente y a otros gobernadores que sigan este ejemplo del gobernador Cuomo, que lleguen a Puerto Rico y a las comunidades, que todas las donaciones que se están haciendo, todo ese dinero que se está recaudando, se va a necesitar para nuestra gente. Ellos están entusiasmados por salir adelante, pero nosotros tenemos que seguir aportando los recursos necesarios.
Any questions for myself or my colleagues? No? Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.